back to round 6 of the Star City Games Regionals hosted by Kirwan's Game Store. I'm back with Eric again.
Yep.
Eric, I think this is what the people want.
Oh yeah.
We have humans on one side.
Yep. Versus the Hollow Boys, good old Hollow one.
And the Burning Inquiry. Oh, look at that. I hymned all your lands. I'm going to throw a few 4/4s on the floor. Your turn.
Right, yeah, easy game, right? Well, yeah, no, these are both, humans especially dedicated like tier 1, arguably the best deck in Modern. A lot of people believe
I would agree with best deck in Modern. You know, that doesn't come with the fact that, like, it's only a small percentage.
Oh, for sure. It's not the best by a lot, but it puts up the best results. The last Star City Games Open was won by humans. So, I mean, this deck is just, powerful, it's resilient, it's disruptive, it's fast, it's got pretty much everything you can want out of a deck in Modern.
Yep, totally agree. I think hopefully we're in for a good time. I played this a little bit with my friend, and I think the humans deck is a little favored.
Players, if you are at table 51, you are now at table 103.
Again, the Hollow Boys can do really powerful things really fast.
Yes. Oh, most definitely. We're going to see who's on the play. We don't know that for sure. It looks like Ray's on the play. Maybe humans in his Cavern of Souls.
You have 50 minutes. You may begin.
That's my favorite card, I think, in all of Magic currently.
Champion of Parish?
Champion of Parish.
That's a good one. The People's Champ?
I played this card in Legacy before.
Really?
Yeah. I scrubbed out of a standard tournament back when Opens used to be one day. Mm-hmm. So I entered into the Legacy Classic the next day.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a deck. And we were just like, what if we do these terrible, horrible things in Legacy like we were supposed to do in Standard? I was like, I'm in. Let's do it. I got like a Taiga and a few lightning bolts, and I just ran back Shocklands and Champion of the Parish and Burning Tree Emissaries. And the deck was awesome.
That's really cool.
I had so much fun.
That's great. It's funny. I actually have a friend who played a Legacy version of this Modern deck on Magic Online in 5-0 to League with basically 5-color humans.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, Mother of Runes, it's a human.
Yeah, and a very good one at that.
Yeah. And Recruiter of the Guard, also a human.
Yeah.
Can tutor up all your other humans.
Isn't Imperial Recruiter a human as well?
It is also a human.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turns out there's lots of good things you can do. All right, here we go.
So Ray plays a Ancient Ziggurat for his second land. And he's going to play a Noble Hierarch, giving Champion of the Parish a +1/+1 counter. And then Ray's going to attack for 3 damage because of the Exalted from the Noble Hierarch.
Right. Pretty good start for Ray here. Gets on the board real fast, gets some attacks in, develops his mana really nicely, has an Aether Vial ready to tick up. Egolf does have a nice start, though, with Adept into Street Wraith into Faithless Looting. So it's going to be a lot of damage real quick on his second turn.
Yep. Ray's not going to be able to block this because, again, the Flame-Bladed Adept has Menace. I mean, we're getting 3 power, right? So we're going to come across for 4 damage.
Right.
Barring nothing else happening, of course.
Yeah.
I don't believe we can do anything with just a black mana.
He would have to have another Street Wraith in order to be able to do anything more. If he did, it would be incredibly good because he also has a Gurmag Angler in his hand. If he did have Street Wraith, he'd be able to cycle, get in for 5. Yeah, the old turn 2. I mean, this is
Hollow one's still pretty good.
Yeah, 0 mana 4/4. It's like okay.
It's almost as good as a 1 mana 5/5.
Right. They're pretty comparable, I'd say.
I'd agree. Ray's going to untap. He's going to put a +1 a counter on the Aether Vial.
Right.
And then draw his card for turn. Another Ancient Ziggurat deployed. Looks like we have a Kite Sail Freebooter in hand.
Yeah, I think so. He's got a Kite Sail Freebooter, a Thali's Lieutenant, and I think I saw a Keswick Malcontents too. So we'll see. We get to see what's up with his hand. He gets to take
a Burning Inquiry is our only choice.
Yeah.
And we got a Gurmag Angler, a Bloodghast. That's really interesting to me. We Faithless looted and we didn't put a Bloodghast in the graveyard.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that's not in the graveyard right now.
I guess the only thing I can think of is trying to set up for the Gurmag Angler.
Like, maybe his plan next turn was to just burn an Inquiry, and then the Bloodghast in his hand would be an extra card, so he's less likely to discard the Gurmag Angler to the Inquiry.
Yeah.
Although, at the same time, it means that it's kind of stuck in his hand now. It's going to be very hard for him to cast it. Because he probably is going to want to play Gurmag on his next turn. so that blood gas is going to kind of rot away in his hand for a little bit. So, I mean, he made a play that was perhaps a little bit better percentage-wise against most hands, but against Freebooter it was much worse.
Yeah. Freebooter, it's going to be one of the very few cards that we catch in this Burning Inquiry, Hollow 1 deck.
Right. So he got rid of the Faithless Looting. That's interesting. I guess he's going to deploy...
I think we had to delve the whole graveyard for that.
He gets to deploy another Flame Blade, but at the same time, those Flame Blades are pretty anemic without something to discard. So I wonder if it would be better to have paid 3 mana, delving 4, leaving the Faithless Looting in his graveyard, so he has the Faithless Looting still available, but he just doesn't have Flame Blade left in play. I guess maybe he's just hoping to draw into something, but it's a little, I don't know, it seems a little suspect to me.
Yeah, I agree with the Faithless Looting being one of the best cards in the deck and requiring it, to be used as frequently as possible.
Right, I mean, Egolf is at 8 life. I don't know. Let's see,
this could just be a lethal attack depending on what Ray has in hand.
Yeah, this champ is a 5/5. Freebooter's a 2/2, 1/2. The Flame Blade ups are actually 1/2, so that does kind of neutralize Noble Hierarch as an attacker. And the Thalia's Lieutenant, if Ray has anything along the lines of, like, let's say another Lieutenant or like a Phantasmal Image, things could get real bad for Egolf during combat. Looks like he's just going to attack for 3, though, with the Freebooter plus Exalted Trigger. What's the follow-up here?
Reflector Mage?
Oh, no. That should be lethal. Yep, there we go.
Yep.
3 + 5 is lethal. And Ray Crudele is going to take game 1.
Yeah. Humans deck flexing, it's pretty basic muscles. We didn't really do anything too outside of the norm.
Nope. But
turn 1 dude, turn 2 played a creature, played an Aether Vial.
Yep.
Turn 3 played 2 dudes.
Right, but yeah,
we're off to the races.
That's really what the deck's all about. I mean, it had a little bit of everything. It had quick development with its mana. Aether Vial allowed it to, really, like the Noble Hierarch allowed it to deploy its spells a little bit ahead of schedule. Champion of the Parish allowed you to attack for damage pretty quickly, and then Freebooter was just a little bit of interaction needed to disrupt Egolf off of Burning Inquiry and keep him from doing anything too explosive. And that combination of cards, good enough to take the game pretty easily. We're going to see what they got in their sideboard, though.
I like the Hollow 1 deck a little bit better post-sideboard.
Okay.
Because some of the stuff we do is awesome, right? Like, Grim Lavamancer is back-breaking for the humans.
That's true.
Right? If you can't get that off the floor, the card will run away with the game.
Right, that's true.
Right? Fatal Push, just all-around good removal spell against this deck. Michael actually also has Slag Storm in the sideboard.
Ooh,
which
Slag Storm. I like that one.
Double down on Bolt You and remove all the creatures from the floor.
It's true.
Right? Blood Moon is a fine inclusion against the humans deck because it shuts down every land they play minus the single planes.
Right. I wonder... he only has 1 Blood Moon. I wonder... Maybe he brings it in? It's a little tough because it's a pretty bad top deck, but at the same time, as you said, it is very powerful against some of their draws.
Yeah, I think with a single copy in the sideboard, I don't think we bring it in.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's too narrow against a deck like this, whereas we like it against Tron because if we draw it very early, it's great. If we draw it semi-early, it's good. Even if we draw it mid-game, it's still fine.
Yeah.
We can deploy enough threats to make Tron have to react to us rather than be able to comfortably sculpt their game plan.
Right. No, I agree with that. So all those cards definitely make sense. And let's see what Ray has. He's got a few more humans, some other creatures. He's got, let's see. I do like this Dismember in his sideboard. That's a really nice, clean answer to Egolf's payoff creatures, the Hollow ones and the Gurmag Anglers, just for 1 mana, just very neatly answers. I don't actually mind Selfless Spirit that much because it just naturally can counter some of the removal spells, and it's a flyer, so it can just it can attack pretty nicely. Let's see, Grafdigger's Cage, maybe. Not really sure, but probably does.
Like we talked about earlier, Grafdigger's Cage is not that great against the Hollow One deck. It does shut off some of their angles of attack, but they still have great things to do.
Right.
Another card that I really like, I like the Hostage Taker a lot.
Hostage Taker's sweet. Hostage Taker's real cool.
Yeah, it's big enough to block the Flame Blade Adepts and the Bloodghasts without trading them.
Right.
And it is something that can get rid of Hollow Ones and Gurmag Anglers
Plus,
very easily.
If it's late game, if you vial it in and take their Gurmag Angler, you delve away some of your dead creatures. Whoop, Gurmag Angler right there.
Your Ancient Ziggurats still cast Gurmag Angler.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Well, anything can. It doesn't matter because it's any color mana.
Yep.
But the other, it's a Reclamation Sage. Okay, never mind. Actually, I wonder if he's gonna bring in Rex Sage. He could, but
I'm not a big fan of it because it's just the Hollow Ones.
yeah,
And it's
probably not the greatest.
It's not like another spell where it can still contribute value. It's just a 2/1.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And it's a 3-mana 2/1. So
Probably
I'm not big on it because
that makes sense.
there's only 4 cards in the deck that we can hit, and we
Yeah.
have other things that can hit them and block them as well.
I'm down with that. Yeah, I definitely think that Ray is not going to do a ton of sideboarding, just like a little bit.
Michael's going to lead off Mountain into a Faithless Looting, draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. Most optimal things that we can discard here, of course, Bloodghasts, and excess spells that we don't really need, like if our hand's full of Goblin Lores and Burning Inquiries. Flamewake Phoenix is another very, very strong play.
Yeah, Flamewake Phoenix is good here. It looks like Egolf is trying to set up for a turn 2 Goblin Lore, hoping to keep his Hollow One and deploy it for free after the lore resolves.
Yep. Ray leads off Unclaimed Territory, naming humans more than likely. Going to play an Aether Vial. Easily the best start we can have as a humans deck. Aether Vial's always the way we power out things very fast.
Yep.
Michael's going to fetch a Bloodstained Mire for a Swamp, and we're probably going to deploy the Goblin Lore here.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's mostly just hoping to, draw more Hollow Ones and to keep them in his hand, not get rid of them. I like this, just not even looking. That's the way to do it. You don't want to know the cards you draw until after it resolves. Alright, let's see how they do this. They're going to use dice, they're going to just pull out a random.
I think pulling out at random is more consistent.
Yeah.
Because the amount of cards you draw off of a Goblin Lore can put you above 6 a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
anything more than 6 in hand makes it so that a single die roll can't reliably be used.
True. There it is. The boys.
So it looks like we hit 2 Flameblade Adepts and a Burning Inquiry, which isn't the greatest. Like, we would like to have had some of the Flameblade Adepts because they are threats, but we got a free Hollow One out of the deal.
Right.
So
He did-
we got to take some risks.
Right. I mean, his game plan was revolving around playing a Hollow One on turn 2, assuming that he didn't get unlucky with Goblin Lore, and he didn't. He did discard some stuff that he would have liked to keep, but, deploying the Hollow One was his original plan anyways.
And there's the Slag Storm out of the sideboard.
Yep, makes sense. If you got a bunch of, 4/4s and 5/5s, Slag Storm is a pretty nice card. And he takes it, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, because otherwise you would just use the Slag Storm to clear the board,
Right,
get
yeah.
back the Goblin Lore anyway.
Yep. This way he can kind of keep things under control. Looks like this Phoenix is about to come back and smack him in the face.
Yep. Attacks here for 6 damage, 2 from the Flamewake Phoenix, 4 from the Hollow One.
Right. Ooh, that's nice.
Throw a Lightning Bolt upstairs. Ooh, no, at the
No, the freebooter.
at the freebooter. Get back the Slag Storm again.
Right.
That'll be a Lightning Bolt to go upstairs, or it'll be an Anger of the Gods to clear
Right.
up the board.
And I definitely like Egolf doing this during his main phase before the Aether Vial goes up to 2 counters. One of the things that can really punish Egolf if he tries to do it after the Aether Vial goes up to 2 is Ray could bring in an image, copy the freebooter, and then be able to still take something, and then he's forced to have to be able to just play his spells differently. This way he gets back his Storm and doesn't have a creature in play that can get copied with image.
Ray plays a Naked Thalia's Lieutenant, just a 2-mana 1/1 champion of the parish, basically. Michael looks like he's flashing back Faithless Looting, draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. He does have a Bloodghast in hand, so that'll be very, very good for him. If he can find another card to discard, looks like he has another Hollow One in hand.
Yeah, he does. And And looks like he's going to get it back and then crack this for another land and play another hollow one.
Yeah, it's still very, very powerful. A 1-mana 4/4.
Actually, I wonder, have you gotten to play this matchup at all?
I have played this matchup a little bit.
Have you played? So, I have not gotten to play this matchup before. Here's a question. For your Phantasmal Images, do you prefer to have them copy your own creatures, or do you try to copy your opponent's Hollow Ones and Gurmag Anglers and trade in combat?
It really depends on where both players are at in the board state, right? If you are very ahead in the board state, then you want to hit your Thalia's Lieutenants, your Mantis Riders, and just keep being able to ride those to victory. Mantis Rider's phenomenal in this matchup because it just takes Flamewake Phoenix completely out of the game, and it makes Bloodghast look silly.
Yeah, that's true. That does make a lot of sense. It's something that I wasn't considering before. Often, obviously, if you're playing Phantasmal Image, you're trying to copy your own creatures because you can't rely on your opponent to play things that you want to copy. But in this matchup, there might be a lot of spots where it's actually better to just vial in an image to copy their creature and just trade off in combat to give yourself more time.
Yeah, or you can vial in, say, like an image, copy a Gurmag Angler, and then block the Hollow One, get the Hollow One off the floor, and then have the block on the Gurmag Angler later.
Yeah, that's also good too.
It really depends on where you are. I think in Ray's current state, he's going to be more heavily influenced on copying Michael's creatures, right? Because he's not going to be able to get his creatures to the point where they're going to be big enough to do anything against Michael.
That makes sense.
Now we have a Mantis Rider on the floor, right? Copying Thalia's Lieutenant's very enticing, right? Because if we have another Thalia's Lieutenant and a Phantasmal Image, then our Mantis Rider's big enough to take care of the Hollow Ones.
It's true. Although at the very least, it's not too bad. So he's got a 4/4 Mantis Rider and a 4/4 Thalia's Lieutenant. So the Lieutenant can trade with the Hollow One, and the Mantis Rider can eat the Phoenix. It's also possible that, well, it's weird. It's, Egolf
so we just attack for 4 with the Mantis Rider.
Right.
Right, and we have Thalia's Lieutenant can chump block and just take care of the Bloodghast. Right? Mantis Rider can take care of the Flamewake Phoenix, and Michael's attacking for only 8 damage. It's going to put us to 6 if we elect not to block.
True.
And then Ray has his turn 2 cards in hand. If either of those cards are Image, Lieutenant, Mantis Rider, Kessig Malcontents, those are very, very powerful threats that Ray can deploy and basically one-shot Michael.
It's true. Let's see what he does here. Let's look at the swing out. And Egolf does have the Slag Storm, I believe, still in his hand, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so if Ray goes to 3, that Slag Storm is going to deal the last 3 points, so he's got to be a little careful here.
So with the knowledge that Slag Storm is still in hand, I'm okay with throwing our 4/4s in front of, or Ray's 4/4s in front of Michael's 4/4s.
It is a little awkward because you lose the things that can block the recursive creatures, but at the same time, if Slag Storm gets cast post-combat after you block like the Phoenix and the Bloodghast, then Egolf gets to keep his 4/4s and you
Ray's
lose
losing
yours.
all of his creatures.
Yeah,
and
that's just,
Michael still has 2 4/4s.
yeah, that's just tough. I think you're right that you have to. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, I don't mind this. So what he's doing here is he's going to eat the Phoenix. He's going to trade off one of the Hollow Ones, and the other Hollow One is going to have 1 damage on it. So if Egolf wants to get rid of this Mantis Rider, the Slag Storm has to deal damage to creatures, but he's going to lose his Hollow One and his Bloodghast. Right. So he's losing 2 for 2, and the Mantis Rider is still in play as a threat that can hold off the Bloodghast or trade with the Hollow One next turn. So I actually like this block a lot by Ray.
Yeah, the block was really, really strong.
Yeah, and he still has Horizon Canopy and is in play, so he's going to be able to potentially draw into other threats. For example, Reflector Mage. Pretty nice versus Hollow One. Also naturally blocks Bloodghast.
Cycle Horizon Canopy, try to get an extra card. Beautiful part about the Humans deck is very low land count, so a lot of your draws are very live, and a lot of your draws are very good. Again, Reflector Mages, Mantis Riders, Phantasmal Images, Thalia's Lieutenants.
Right. Yeah, and his post-combat play, I'm assuming, is going to be Mage on the Hollow One, so this is naturally going to keep the Bloodghast at bay, the Hollow One's not going to get cast next turn, and the Slag Storm, he can get rid of Reflector Mage, but that Mantis Rider is still in the air, ready to attack him for 2 more times.
Yep, and the Reflector Mage can freely block the Bloodghast, so the Bloodghast is not going to
exactly.
be able to come in.
Looks like...
It's just going to go right for the Slag Storm.
Is this Lightning Bolt? Oh, there it is. 6 damage to the face. Looks like he must have drawn the Lightning Bolt for the turn, and that'll do it. Tied up 1 game apiece, going into game 3 now. So I wonder, play draw. So I guess nothing really. It doesn't change a whole lot versus on the play on the draw, I guess.
I don't think card choices will change too much, but matchup definitely does.
Yes, for sure.
One big thing that I can mention about that last game is the biggest sign of weakness that we saw out of Ray was Thalia's Lieutenant for 2 mana with no follow-ups.
Yeah.
Right? He had another Lieutenant in hand, didn't choose to activate his Vial to Vial it in. It just, a 2 mana 1/1 champion of the parish isn't what this deck wants to do.
No.
And if that's your whole turn, then your opponent's in a really great position.
That's true. It's certainly true. Yeah, let's see. Maybe, well, I guess it really just depends on what the openers look like, because it seems like they're not changing a whole lot. Ray may be thinking about swapping out 1 card in his deck, but I doubt that they're going to make any significant changes to the way that their decks are structured going into game 3.
Yeah, it looks like Ray is changing out a card. He might have put in some Is It Staticasters.
Maybe.
I'm not huge on. The beauty of Staticaster is that it can chump block and it can take care of Bloodghasts, but it's not really conducive to us winning the game.
No, I don't think so, and it can't really deal unless you actually draw both of them. You're not dealing with Flamewake Phoenix or Flame-Blooded Adept.
Yep.
And
it doesn't have flying to be able to chump block.
Right,
that.
and you're not blocking a Hollow One or a Gurmag Angler or a Tassiger with it anyways. So I think that it's better for him to just kind of. I think Ray should just be like on his plan A, just like play out his humans, try to curve out as he did in game 1, and that's probably going to be his best avenue to victory in this match.
Yeah, we want the Aether Vial start. We want 1-drops to be able to combo with our Aether Vial. Mm-hmm. Or powerful 2-drops.
Right.
Something like a Meddling Mage naming a spell.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Well, there's an Aether Vial. Looks like they're both keeping. Turn
Cavern of Souls, Call Human, Aether Vial, Pass Back,
the Dream.
Blackleaf Cliffs into Faithless Looting. So we're almost living the dream on both sides. Mm-hmm. It's like we drew Flamewake Phoenix, or Michael drew Flamewake Phoenix. We can discard, that's Bloodghast Flamewake Phoenix.
Does he have the Street Wraith? Oh man, we might see turn 1 Hollow One here. Oh, we might see. Nope. There it is.
Turn 1 Hollow One with 2 recursive threats in graveyard.
Yeah, that's a incredibly strong start.
Yeah, both of these decks are at their most optimal turn 1s.
Yep. As far as best turn 1s go, the Hollow One deck has some pretty impressive stuff. No 2-drop though for Ray. I wonder, other than the Reflector Mage, I wonder what is in his hand.
It has to be Reflector Mage.
Well, yeah. So he has at least 1 Reflector Mage. I'm just wondering, what other cards did he keep other than lands, Aether Vial, Reflector Mage?
Probably something along the lines of a Mantis Rider. He might have a Thalia's Lieutenant in his hand.
Oh, that's possible too.
That he's not willing to deploy currently because the board is so empty.
Sure. That's certainly possible. At the very least, Reflector Mage is likely to put the... Okay, so... Yep. Put that Hollow One back in the hand. Buy some time to not have to worry about it.
And we get free blocks on the Bloodghast.
Right, yeah, that's definitely very, very important. This Humans deck is actually really well equipped to handle Bloodghast as a card. Thalia has First Strike, naturally beats it in combat. Reflector Mage is a 2/3, Mantis Rider is a 3/3. There's a lot of cards that just make Bloodghast kind of anemic. I actually know some people that sideboard out Bloodghast in this matchup because it is very difficult for it to get in.
Yeah, I would personally wouldn't have Bloodghast in this matchup. It doesn't trade well enough with the threats that the Humans deck is playing. So I'm really against having it in the deck post board.
3 mana.
Possibly flashback Faithless Looting.
Certainly could be the case. Let's see what he does.
Nope.
Oh, second Phoenix. Okay.
I'm a second Phoenix.
I mean,
Just get a free block on the Bloodghast.
yeah.
Michael probably likely doesn't care again because he probably has lands in hand.
Yep. I mean, it's a pretty forced play anyways. Like, he was just going to block no matter what.
Yeah, and
Actually-
Bloodghast cannot block.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised Egolf even attacked. I feel like it's just, I mean, unless he's trying to get it in his graveyard to delve it away, I feel like it's just having the Bloodghast in play is better than relying on another land to get it back, but oh well, that's okay. Yeah, Ray's best avenue here is probably drawing a Mantis Rider to be able to deal with these Phoenixes.
So I think Ray has Mantis Rider and Reflector Mage in hand.
Oh, okay.
And we tick the vial up to 3, so it's very, very certain that our hand's full of 3 drops.
Right.
Yeah, I like
this here.
slamming Mantis Rider, attacking for 5.
Yep.
Reflector Mage is not blocking anytime soon.
Right. And holding the Reflector Mage in our hand here means that we can just activate the Aether Vial if anything were to go wrong.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Not very worried about the Flamewake Phoenixes, especially. I guess if Ray had another Mantis Rider in hand, there's no reason to just not just hit the vial, throw the Mantis Rider onto the floor, and attack for 6.
Oh, yeah, he's going to do what I like. Okay, so Reflector Mage is going to come in. He can keep a Phoenix back out, and then now he gets to block both of the creatures. I mean, I guess it does mean that Egolf can actually play Slag Storm here and get rid of all of Ray's creatures, but at the same
Magic
time...
players, if you sign up for Booster Draft number 1, please come to the judges stage.
Yeah, that one of Slag Storm doing some pretty good work for Egolf in this match. I think that if he didn't have Slag Storm in play, it would have been... Or if he didn't have Slag Storm in his hand, I should say, he'd actually be in a really rough spot in this game.
Yeah. Drawing your one of Wrath against the aggressive decks, always very powerful.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No doubt. Yep, gets back the Bloodghast again.
Bloodghast currently at the state where it has haste every time it comes back, so these are the kind of board states that Bloodghast is good at.
Right. Oh, most definitely. Now we get to do the Burning Inquiry Lottery. Let's see if Egolf is a lottery winner or a lottery loser. So there's 3.
Vial, Ancient Ziggurat, Kitesail Fruit. That was actually decent for Ray.
Yeah.
If the remaining 2 cards in his hand are good, then
oh man,
we're in an okay spot.
oh man, oh wow, oh my goodness. Well, that's
Discard a hollow one, play the other 2 for free.
yeah, that's all right. You know,
And if we hit our land drop here, Michael gets back a Bloodghast and is able to bring back 2 Flamewake Phoenixes.
yeah, it's not.
Ray's in a lot of trouble at this
Yeah, that Burning Inquiry was powerful.
point. Yeah. Ray's hand looks like it's just the 1 mana portion of the curve of humans, Champion of the Parish, Noble Hierarch. Possibly a land.
Yeah,
Electing
it's,
not to play the Noble.
Seems interesting. I'm not sure why to hold it, but maybe there's some reason I don't know about. I mean, there's a bunch of Flamewake Phoenixes that are about to come back here. This is going to be
Maybe trying to bluff the fact that we have Mantis Riders, Reflector Mages.
yeah, I mean, you can, but he has 2 cards in his hand, right? So he can still deploy a creature and bluff anything that would cost 3 while giving the Champion of Parish an extra counter.
Yeah.
Nope, looks like that's the match. The Hollow Boys have defeated the good guy humans. Or maybe it's the bad guy humans, depending on your opinion of that deck in Modern.
Well, they got Kitesail Freebooter now, so there's a black and multiple white cards in there now.
Right, yeah. A little more good than evil, but
I think it's all of the humans,
yeah, it's,
right? That's us as a human race.
yeah, a lot more gray than